Okay. Oh, the mic is open. Really. Could have made a way more dramatic thumbnail with Bitcoin crashing and stuff, right? Okay. Yeah, we can. You can. But I put a timer, so I'm gonna wait. Usually, I mute the mic during the waiting room, but here I'm just gonna shit talk. Not shit talk. That's what I was looking for. Small talk. Genies, hello dear Lucas. What's up? Fine. Going for a bit of Elliott Wave, that's the right place to be. EM. Queenie, hello. Yeah, we have 9 people in. Well, you know what? As you're here already, I'm just gonna go for it. Little warning. Oh yeah, I made that live public once. Didn't really share the link, but well, if you are subscribed and put the notification on, well, you're aware of it. And if you're not, well, maybe you'll see it later. But there is some key price section, so figure it out. Yeah, why not going live for everybody, right? Still gonna do a live stream as usual tomorrow, but yeah. So is it the start of the bear market of all bears? Well, it looks decently shitty right now, but you know, things can turn around pretty quickly. We'll see. For now, trend is down, so since that each stage that we are stepping down, we kind of confirming that we are in a bear market, right? We have been going down since July 13, so more than a month now. We are down from top to bottom 10%. You know, surely it is some kind of bear market. Bear market overall, I don't know. But maybe, because I didn't really look at stock, but I would not be so surprised if things start to shit around again. I didn't put the right screen on. Here you go. Yeah, I never understood or seen any alpha in Elliott Wave, so I'd like to tune into some new alpha. Well, we'll see. It's not really Elliott Wave yet to start, but yeah, you know, I was looking at the potential range deviation, you know, from from a previous range here. So when we were here, even here, it was still fine to see this as a deviation. Now that we made, well, a range, we broke it down, we consolidate under it. Now we are breaking down again. So that makes that range less likely accumulation one, right? At least until and unless we do reclaim all of this, right? If we start to there's going to be a lot of steps to turn things around again, but at the same one that it was previously. In fact, we need to reclaim the daily level, basically, or the block here. Let me shift my chart too much as always. But daily order block from preliminary supply here of that initial range. That's still what we need to reclaim to become more bullish again. Knowing that it is not impossible for Bitcoin to have a squeeze and come back. But yeah, with the count I will look at in a minute, I think, yeah, it's looking less likely. And for now, it's going down. Not really the time to sell, I think. I don't know, maybe we're breaking down. We can never be sure of anything, but we had attempts from bulls here and here, especially on these two rise that did failed. Now we have an attempt from bears, but we have pretty aggressive selling volume that is slightly diminishing as of now. We'll see if it keep increasing and break down. That's possible. But it's also possible that we find a temporary bottom here and start to build another range, or even if it's just a retest of broken range before continuing. Try to see what count makes the most sense. They're not the most obvious at the moment, unfortunately, at least on the lower time frame. But if we're looking at this time frame, we still have the same count that I've been planning for the past few weeks. That didn't change. Let me just make sure I have this code on here. Yeah, I'm just keeping this on the side because Luke was supposed to go live. I don't know what's happening with him. Hope it's nothing. Everything alright, but I guess it is. But if you go live, I just want to make sure you receive his message. So the count for now is the same. It will remain the same as long as we don't reach the June low, right? The idea is being having a 1-2 and a sub 1-2 and a sub 1-2 in process. Now the goal is to try to read from top of July here the best as possible corrective move to potentially play a reversal. Important wording here. It's a play. It's a potential reversal. But for now, we can't assume that we are trending down, because we are. So it's the moment we it's the iffy moment, because we can expect to print a higher low, but we don't know for sure where. We can have some hint. We have a good potential target here around the golden pocket. We have a trend line. We have a daily order block from here. We have a POC around the same area, I guess. It's a bit higher, at least on this chart. But the safest play, or maybe the most sensible way to play this is probably to continue to be directional neutral, by as less as possible, but at the same time continue to look for short on the bounce where it's sensible, not necessarily on the breakdown. I mean, you can take a risk if you're willing to, but there was a few opportunity to find shorts here that we catch more or less precisely, and there will probably be again, you know, sometime we have a breakdown. Just, you know, hard to predict. It's, I think I need to refresh this. You know, we have a pretty steep increase in open interest here, right? So when those things happen, you basically have two possible outcomes, right? It's especially here when it's accelerating here. It means that there is people trying to long and getting underwater, and also people aggressively shorting down and pushing price down. All of this here in this range, there is both sides, right? It's always a zero-sum game into a derivative. Most of the time, you know, 8 or 9 times on 10, the steep increase in open interest end up being traders are going to be trapped, right? Just like here, for example, on the USDT pair, you have a very steep increase in a short amount of time, while that is short getting underwater, but at the same time this is long getting aggressive at top and then getting trapped, right? Or here's again, well, a lot have been decently safe because they have been able to close at profit for a lot. But you know what I mean, you know, stiff increase, yeah. But there is some time and outcome where you have this stiff increase and it doesn't reverse, it's just gonna push into the liquidation of the short that's trying to keep price from going up and gonna get squeezed. It's depend which side gonna be the strongest, right? It's can't call. Most of the time it is a trap, so here it could be some kind of bear trap, and this bottom short could get squeezed back up, even in a bearish market structure, in fact, because we could squeeze short and have a corrective move and trap again long, right? But there is few occasions, especially when we're entering into a significant change of character where, yeah, one side successfully push into the direction it's looking for a squeeze, right? Like, for example, here you have a steep increase on open interest, meaning there is long getting aggressive, yet they're successfully reaching short liquidation, pushing into short liquidation, and end up taking profit into the range here. So, you know, it's not impossible we have some kind of, I don't know, 5% move out of the blue. It's not really out of the blue, but a 5% move down, or even more. Sometimes we do have more. It's always possible, and surely it is a place where it is possible right now, right? Because we have this count that would suggest a higher low, while it still can have a 5% move down and still be fine. It can even go lower here, break this trend line and still be 1, 2, and you know, reverse here. That can still be the case. So we can see a strong move at any moment. And we also have a potentially more bearish count that remain extremely valid, right? The idea that we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, with 2 as a flat here, so we don't have overlap between the 1 and the 4 for I. The most important is if we have a complete impulse here, well, that means that we could be able to have we may have a few months of bear market downtrend with potentially a corrective move at some point, You know, ideally a corrective move. I mean, a corrective move of such an uptrend, you will see a zigzag, so you'll have a move down and a correct up and move down. But sometime like for this, for example, you have really not so much of a corrective up, right? It's almost straight down. You still have an ABC, you just have a very small wave B compared to here where you have strong corrective up in the middle. And we can't know for sure. But yeah, when I'm looking at this, seeing volume dying down, price not able to keep anything up here, it doesn't look great until we reclaim some kind of key level, right? Overall, this daily order block here is really the one that is the most key, right? We can look at the one closer, more local, the last smaller range here. So okay, if we start to reclaim this, maybe we're still into that range, then this become a bit of in between, and we see if we come back down or if we reclaim this. But yeah, at the moment we're in a downtrend. That's pretty settled. Would that put a fifth under 25k? I'm gonna come back on that. On this move down with 3 bigger than 1, 2 and all another Q, you have count on Q. Don't have great count on Nasdaq, but I will take a look. Okay, but yeah. So the idea is, yeah, either we're looking to stay into that range, basically, right? Because in fact we never really left that one, you know. It's not a nice clean range because, you know, we have little range here, we have choppiness here, we will lose the range, and we have a lot of choppiness here. Here we have consolidation at the high, but we never really claim overall that consolidation, right? You can have this as a dirty deviation, and now this as a bit cleaner deviation. But yeah, looking around 27k down to even the monthly level, weekly level. Monthly is, can put that on that chart, gonna be important. Yeah, monthly is at around golden bucket and daily order block here. And weekly level a bit lower, below the trend line. We also have POC reaching. In terms of retracement, we are at the 50 right now. And, you know, we can come back as well on just remembering this, because even if Elliott Wave can look magical sometimes, it can also very much be a pain in the ass at some of the time, like it was here to count. And you know, it's not very so much of a fractal copycat here, but you can see how you have, you know, overall that support here, very important, that hold on your range here, and support here, and support here, break down, and you kind of consolidating and continuing to go down here, while we didn't really went so much lower. We just grind down with a lot of choppiness towards the support we were looking for, right? That, I mean, during all that time, this 25k always have been something on watch, right? But the reading of this wave structure here was really not that easy. And that might be a similar situation here, you know. I can do every count I want, you know. I will eventually find the right one. If I'm doing every possible count, I can draw 10, 20, 50 counts valid for this and can find a bottom anywhere, but that's not going to be that much helpful, right? That's what drawing is helpful at sometimes, but it's not bread and butter for itself all the time, right? And so maybe, you know, we are here, possible. So maybe we have, again, a short squeeze here, and we're gonna come back again, take the low. You know, we have a nice support here. We have POC. We know we have another nice, very nice support here, 7. And if we have completed the whole impulse here, then we are going into something a lot deeper, a lot stronger, a lot longer bear market. Maybe we're gonna see a breakdown and we're gonna lose this, and that's where we're gonna see maybe a bit of consolidation, and we're gonna spend most of the years that is left correcting down. A nice reminder is Bitcoin love to bottom around November, around the end of year. It did that at multiple occasions, right? I did it here. We did it on the previous cycle here, and we did it again previously, and even when September, no, here we were already. And anyway, you know, if we're going down a lot more, November, December will surely be a lot more attentive on the potential completion of a count. Hope I'm able here. Elliott Wave is always magical sequence, yeah. It's good sometimes to realize there is no count right. Would you agree? I would not phrase this like this. I mean, I think I get what you mean. There is always a right count because there is, you know, Elliott Wave, you got rules and guidelines. The guidelines are here to try to, I mean, the rules are here to say what is valid and what is invalid, incorrect. But among the valid ones, there is many possibilities. The guidelines are here to try to tighten down the ones that are most relevant, right? And sometimes there is always a valid count, but there is not always one that is obvious, that's gonna really nicely follow the guidelines. Always find that one that follows the rules, but not always one that follows the guideline size. To be clear. So yeah, I'm not gonna do 50 counts. I always try to keep it down to 2-3 options on different time frame. And now we can come back on this chart and come back on the main count, main 2 counts that we have now, because we have one invalidation that we made yesterday overnight, yesterday evening. The idea that we have an A, B, C expanded flat completed is now invalidated because we bridge the low. So the green count here is gone. Now, what do we have that still follows the guidelines and looks sensible is that we have a leading diagonal down, a complete impulse, and that we have a 3-wave structure, 2 waves up, corrective, confirmed as a corrective move because we breach its slope now. that will most likely be a wave 2 or a wave B, meaning that we are looking to complete either a wave C or a third, right? So I kind of try to see what can go the most sensible here. But I might be willing to add a bit of a tricky option. And that's also what we can add to Elliott Wave along guidelines and rules and etc. Let's try to have consideration for the market sentiment at the current time, and where, you know, where is the max pain scenario, quote unquote. It's always a bit personal point of view. Guess where is the max pain scenario? We try to gauge as best as possible. We can use obviously the fear and greed index here. For now, it seems that we are still neutral, which kind of surprised me. I thought we will be into fear right now. Let me check maybe another fear and greed index here. We're into greed right now? Really? I am surprised. I would have thought we were here right now. It's not a great sign if these are the right data. We're a bit too eager, is that the case? Because usually, you know, you can use your frame grid index and you use a simple market structure, right? You know where, especially when you have a bit of experience and time into the market, and you have made your own mistake. We all go through our own mistakes, but your mistake make you learn, and you know where you did a mistake and what you were looking for, and you can understand or you can try to guess what your old you, basically the old you would have think, and where will it be fearful. And in fact, the old me would be very fearful right now. Because, well, basically because we continue market break. And that's also why we very often, most of the time, in fact, trigger trade on SFPs, right? Swing fair pattern, because that's just a sentimental, you counter trade a market sentiment at the moment, right? You see a price action breaking out a pivot or a significant market structure level, and you have a candle that looks pretty bullish, because you know, when we printed that candle, for example, that 4 hour, at some point the 4 hour was up here, and you know that when you start doing TA, you always start by studying the candlestick pattern, right? And I'm still live, right? I saw something going. No, it's okay. And you know, at some point that 4 hour level was up here at the POC and was looking like green, a big green and big volume increasing. It was looking extremely bullish. That's when I went to short, right? Well, I didn't especially here, but sometimes we do mistake. But at least I didn't bow the breakout here. I put down there, right? I was still taking profit. But you know that some people that bought up here, the same way there is some people that are selling down here, because it does look kind of shitty if you look like this. But if this 4 hour candle end up closing green back above here, well, it's gonna do a lot better all of a sudden, right? It's closing into, yeah, we still have an hour 20. I think I'm rambling a bit here, losing myself what I wanted to say. Alright, coming back here. So, okay, in a minute I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna try to keep that stream a bit tight. But yeah, the idea we're looking to complete 5 waves from that top of August 8, but we may have so the tricky count. That's where I start to to leave my my word here. The tricky one could be come back into the range to finish a tricky correction. That's a very good place, for example, to print a flat. That's what I mean. It would have been better if the sentiment was a bit more fearful. But as we have an ABC up, that ABC up might end up being just a wave A of a flat. And that could be, for example, an ABC down here as a wave B, right? And make this an A, and a B, and a C. A running flat, a regular flat, expanded flat. Liquidity above 30,450 is still there, even more now. And if we start to have an aggressive rise here, in a correction, you might expect something very aggressive and very quick. No, it can even be a lot quicker than it's drawn here. But yeah, we can have still a flat here. We can still come back into the range and still have the same blend that I've been looking for a few weeks, looking for a short higher. Just right now I got a bit wrecked on my swing long. I mean, it's okay, I've been taking profit several times. I trade the range as it is, right? Just that I said I remain long and my stop below here because there is a compelling idea saying that we could go up from this, and this look will hold very much. And in fact, if these lows have been holding and we had continued up, I think would have been even stronger, right? It could give even more weight to the bullish case. Well, now we can still come back up here, but with this price action, it looked like if there is a rise, it would increase the probability that it is just corrective. We'll see how this rise build up should it happen, but yeah. 123 here on watch, in fact, that we may reach pretty soon for that occurrence. And let me start with that count on the lower time frame here, because we are reaching it potentially. So this or down there even. We don't have a precise extension on that, but okay, let's yeah, that's still the same idea here. There's the two count that's gonna be pretty similar. Steepen, yeah, this. Okay, so if we are looking at a flat here, we can look at an A, B, C, where sorry, I might need color code here. Okay. So yeah, that's the count with I choose here. You might find something else. What we know is there is most likely a wave 3 here, right? Because that's where we have an acceleration and some kind of rotation. What we can guess is after a third wave, there is most likely a fifth. Especially if we have volume confirmation in the third here, and for now we have less volume. We'll see, you know, if volume keep just growing and accelerating down, that it's capitulating, you know. But for now, there is an opportunity for this to hold still. You know, how do you make the difference between a 3 and a third here? well, I will give an hint. Again, never say it in T, but if we are looking at a C where, well, we are most likely looking at a flat. If we are looking at a flat, well, we are looking at the 123 retracement of proposed wave A, or W, which 123 retracement is the red line here, right? So if we just sweep this, but kind of hold and start to retrace, we have a C wave. A bit more likely, if it's deep, lower, and reach the 161.8 extension of this to this, while we start entering into the idea that we may have a third wave instead. Depending where this hold up, if it does, I'm gonna give it a bit more weight on one side or the other. Let me make this in green maybe, so it's much clearer, and this in red, right? And this in white because it is the same for both. But again, that's how I approach it. Two possibilities on this time frame you can read. And you know, a bearish possibility, we could extend this a lot more, right? You know, I'm doing attempt here, but we don't have so much clearness, right? As a good example, we don't have a count that follow nicely the guidelines. These counts follow the rules that are valid. But on the smaller time frames, there is no clean count that follows guidelines. Very well. That's still okay, but it's a bit in between, right? No, for example, here, well, we have overlap between the 4 and the 1, but you know, we have this high before printing the 5th. We have this bit flat, a drop. It's not that clean. Not like having a too strong move up with one at reach 1-1 extension cleanly and clean high. All of that to say, here that might be a 1-2 and a sub 1-2, but if things were to, if we were to see a capitulation stronger, that might be a 1-2 and a sub 1-2 and a sub 1-2, and we can enter a third wave of the third of a third of a third and see just complete collapse, right? That's not what I'm charting, because I have to make some choice and what I feel should be the most likely. Yeah. And how do this then evolve? Well, can come back on this 1 minute here. If we are looking for an APC, let's see if we have enough leg to go for a standard target here of a corrective move. And I'm gonna make that in white. Monthly level. You know, we can see, you know, we have the range POC here, also around 161.8. So yeah, we can have a bit of support here. Because that's where you can add some short as well. If you build a range here after you took some kind of liquidity, you can find another short here to see if we're going for a fifth. But that could work as it is, at that count, to be not so far away from a bottom. Now, we may also be doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, and come back here and do a 1, 2, and going for another stronger 3, 4, 5, or whatever. TP1 at range POC. Say P. TP1 at French POC. You mean TP1 on your short at French POC on my short? I guess that's good. Good. Thing is, like, personally, I'm already kind of taking quick take profit. I've not been the best here on the short side, you know. Yesterday I kind of short into. It's quite busy. I was farming your stuff, so it's not so active on Discord, but that was the plan I gave Tuesday evening. Tuesday evening, right? The idea that we would that I was looking for Monday low to hold, and if it starts to lose, that's gonna be iffy for me. With full invalidation, I was still these two lows, but I was still seeing decent bullish outlook as long as this Monday low was holding, right? So I say, okay, if this doesn't hold, well, I'm gonna look again for short into weakness, just that shorting a retest of the broken support, right? Which is just what I did. You wait for some kind of liquidity grab here on smaller time frame. It's just I didn't take a tight short that was especially big position. But I just edged enough for my spot position and a bit more. So I took the short, but while I'm doing this, I take profit always on the market structure change, right? And second one where I got my other long stop, so it's not necessarily a very successful trade, but at least edging what I had remaining on the long exposure. And here it's starting to get shorting here. It makes no sense to me. Yeah, where I would short, it's rather no trade zone for me, or looking for scalp longs. Again, scalps. We have reaction here. Well, can wait for lower time frame, change of character, change of market structure, and be a buyer here for maybe just even a small golden pocket retrace. It's gonna be a small trade. And see if it is pushing higher. Well, then I can decide to buy back on a retrace, or maybe if you start to print an impulse, maybe you can look for a more shallow retrace. That's the idea. If you get out of that kind of bear trap and start to print bullishness, so for me bullishness will be a decently clean impulsive move, 5 wave-ish move up, change of market structure, volume coming in, right? You want something that you can compare to the move down. You want to see the short starting to close and maybe starting to re-increase on being a bit too much aggressive on the retrace here. And you can look for the 3 to retrace. That's what I mean. Shallow retrace when you come out strong of a bear market. Something that Luke often mentioned, right? If you get some kind of V-shaped reversal or strong change of character of a bear trap, bull trap, you rather want to see either a very shallow retrace or a very deep one, or you retrace everything. There's always golden pocket 786 to be aware of. In this occurrence, if we are printing this, might be trying to knife catch something here. small caps, or wait for a 1 minute change and be a bit more aggressive then for again a small scalp. And it push higher, then okay, I can start to diminish again my short exposure maybe, or try to short the fifth wave still being neutral, and do a scalp short and reverse into a bit more aggressive long straight too, or we see, well, whatever, depending on what's happen. I'm not so much keen to be flipping too much bearish here, because I am saying there's still decently buying up here, right? Which you can say again, Tether trading at a premium, well, that means that Tether is dead again, quote unquote. Again, so Tether is trading below $1 on its, I mean, I guess USDT, USD. Tether is trading at oh yeah, there we go, 99 cents, not so much, but still. But it's mean as well that the one that are holding a lot of Tether and the market makers, hedge fund, whatever, that are providing liquidity on Tether pair are willing to pay a premium to buy Bitcoin with the Tether. So maybe maybe I am you never know, right? There is a lot of rumor, etc., about Tether that have been lasting for years, and maybe one day Tether gonna collapse. I don't think so, but it will look like this, right? And it will even increase. But more often than not, lately, when Tether was trading at a premium, that was a signal of bottom, right? They were buying the lows. We can more or less ignore the time where it was trading at a discount here, because that was when especially Coinbase was trading at a huge premium because of the banking collapse, etc. But Tether trading at a premium here again at bottom. Now, I use this as a way to go against sentiment a bit and saying, okay, there is wells that are buying, knowing that it's not necessarily a precise signal. It has been decently good on this two bottom, on even here. It was slightly premium here, right? And even occasionally on lows. We have to zoom in to see more precisely. But it's also happened that they're just buying into weakness, because these wells and Bitfinex as well, you can see here, we're buying at premium, but these are people that are playing higher liquidity game than I do, and most likely all of you as well, unless you are trading 100 millions or billions of dollars. But in that case, I don't know why would you be looking at me? What I mean, sorry for mumbling today, is that they can buy into weakness because they're just supporting the market, and they accumulate, but during a long period of time, right? And they might be keeping the market from completely collapsing too much. At some point, when there is a lot of fear, you need some smart people very involved to be here to buy into that weakness and be willing to absorb some kind of unrealized losses. But they buy as it goes down, and they'll sell as it goes up. That's the game, right? They don't just sell the top and buy the bottom. When you play big sums, you have to be willing to absorb. So if they are looking to buy during the next 6 months, they might be staying at a premium here, or even have some time where they sell because they want to let things go down more. But they might be accumulating here slowly and continue to do so for months, right? That's what I meant to say, but I am aware that they're still trading at a premium, and for me it is not something that make me fearful that Tether is dipping. It's something that tell me big guys in the crypto industry are buying bitcoins. Heads up, I can keep doing so even if it goes down 10 or 20% down. 27,900, yeah, your TP, yeah, good. I trade millions of Twitter screens there. And you're watching me. Great. So yeah, right now what we're looking for again, a bit too aggressive on the long side, it seems, according to them. So I think this is going to go down a bit more. Maybe what we want to see is a bit more, flush on the open interest. No, you don't necessarily need the chart to trade order flow. Gold trade order flow, but still. Where do we have a bunch of exposure here? Starting from very high here. But in fact, that can be also, that's what we probably need to claim to really confirm a lot more the strength. But obviously, you don't want to wait to be above 29,200 to be a buyer, slightly. And you could. And you don't buy here, you buy on the retest, but yeah, that's where there is the most exposure. How much it is before I'm talking too much here? 5,000 Bitcoin. Okay, that's decent. That's not extreme. I mean, we are in August, so things are kind of slow, and we have $500 million USDT, which is about 20k. So that's a lot more interesting volume here. Let me add liquidation here, coin and little coin here. Lap here and overlap here. So we had, it's not that much, a few millions of liquidation on this. Funding is still decently high here. Spot is still selling. We have a bit of a, here we go, we have a bit of a flush, but you still have 20k. You have 20k of new shorts here. Okay, let's do a, that's not that bad. Okay, it's not that huge here. At least we took the low. I think we can still come a bit lower, but it's not that great yet. Flush a bit of longs. We have the reaction out of it. Might flush a bit of shorts. We barely managed to make any market structure change here yet. In theory, that's enough. Okay, here how I can approach it also another way. I have a low, significant low, high volume. We have a, for now, secondary low. We'll see if it holds, but just for the sake of rambling. I'm going to continue. We have a consolidation here before that kind of high volume last selling climax. So here you have your preliminary support flush selling climax, automatic reaction, retest of the preliminary support, secondary test. You start to establish a range here. So you might be aiming for the high of the range. If you manage to take the high, you have something. You have something. A slight change of character. Probably it's gonna be still a decent short. That could still be a wave 4, by the way. But you know, the range could continue. Now, after you see, if you have a really clean impulse or leading diagonal here that's starting to print and volume keep pouring in, maybe we can look for a higher low. If this is still a wave 4, we can still look for another sweep here, which could become your STB. Most likely it can take a lot more time, right? But yeah, just approach the range as it is. Here could be a nice short. Here was decent long. Now it's iffy. Now we have a bit of change of market structure, but the same way, this can become a wave 4. This could also be still corrective, right? Yeah. If we manage to do this, maybe a bit more aggressive on trying to catch along here and see if it holds again, you know, take profit, and you see if at some point you reverse or not. Yeah. You know, scalping the lower time frame, I think that's what trying to establish a range here. Trying to. What make me feel the best about this, I mean, the most bullish argument on this is a $20K, $500 million of open interest open into that range. That means there is $500 million worth of shorts into that range. There are also $500 million of longs, but which one is the most sensible to be here? Well, if you're a swing trader and willing to be underwater, I mean, being short on a loss of some kind of trend line and major pivot, I mean, that's fine. But if you're playing with leverage here, you expose yourself to get squeezed, right? Even if this has to continue down, because if we complete 5 here, that can be a 1, right? Still, we can be a 2 and still be in the third that could be extended into a lower target. But if the long cannot hold up and the short, that seems to be not the most sensible things to do right now. If they are very deep pockets and are going for the bulls that are trying to hold on, I might keep pushing down, and at some point the bull's gonna just collapse and get liquidated of some sort, right? It's not because you play big that you cannot get liquidated. aka Alameda, for example, or 3AC, or whatever. Yeah. It's not that bad. Okay, here's an example. If this is strong, you might want to not trace much more. That's really too. Can I have I cannot count this. I mean, the one might not be finished. One on A here. Something that I wanted to emphasize is, as it is weak, it's not either necessarily good to be like longing here, right? Because you don't have a good risk reward ratio here, and in a bearish trend, you will have this kind of setup that fell and fell and fell again, and show a little. Yes, it could even be. I don't know. I'm not comfortable to be shorting here either. No, not much I can do here. But yeah, sometimes you have trap, get a reaction, SFP, you have trap short or what so, and it still keep going down. And you can do that 10 times, 20 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's decent, but NBAPC, it's work as well. Thing you can do is, if we hold here, for example, and continue and start to print some kind of diagonal while the buy, especially if you have your 3-2 retrace, that's going to be lower, golden pocket. But some kind of low here, for example, and you just look for a sweep of a small lower time frame low into something you look for, and you get a reaction, and you can be a buyer at that point. See if it goes for the next. That's, yeah. I hope I'm not too much confusing here today. I'm talking a lot. Maybe the wine make me talk more. Like a caroling, yeah. Stop loss are stupid. Not financial advice. Of course, it's not stupid. What is not necessarily great here, it's to see that longs are already coming back up. You flush longs here, get people trying to long, tight stop, I get flush, you got a reaction, squeeze the one that are just shorting down, they get squeezed. So tight stop for the short, tight stop for the long, people are getting a bit emotional here. Get stopped on one side and they re-enter. Or the same for the short, right? They get stopped and they re-enter. So it's way too emotional here on both sides. On both sides. I would have preferred to reach 123 here. That's why I'm kind of considering an extension of this force. 3-2. So you may also have not in a flat structure, if we're again for a force, you don't necessarily have to take the liquidity here. When you are bearish market structure, you don't always do. That's obviously the most easiest approach. SFP, people start to see a change of market structure, la long, then you can get your short and have take profit at the golden pocket or so, and maybe lower golden pockets, breach of the lows, and it can start to flip again long if there is some kind of reaction. Bit like this, but that is not the one that looked the best to me. It's kind of the thing I want to see, but not quite. It's a bit too much eager too long still. And you overall the range, you see a bunch of short, but it's in between still. Okay, let me move on here because I really just wondering. And I'm rambling the word rambling because I don't know any other words. So let's take a quick look at stock. What are they doing? Okay, stock are looking not great. Oh, PC is eating up. I have 5 years old anyway. Oh yeah, just FYI, can look as well at the daily close. You know, can change a bit the just before I flip. I promise I do after. If you have a decent close, but you know, reclaim for now. Previous day close is bad because we close a bad candle, right? On the daily, the close are quite decently important here. We close below the range, but we are at our trend line support from the low of from the range low that started last year in June, right? That we front run slightly in June this year, and right now we are at it. You know, if we can hold that, maybe tomorrow one last flush, and maybe it's a good buy. And you know, but I know we are here. But if we close below it, well, I kind of want to wait for bullish T1 daily. Okay, so just watch the trend line on RSI daily. It's interesting to keep an eye on actually for the few next closes. If I have time, I will look at BNB. Yeah. For the matter of stock, I'm starting with S&P because it's a bit easier to read for me. We didn't hold the daily flip, so we're seeing much more weakness here. You know, okay, full disclosure, my bias is we have a macro fifth wave finished at the high from December 2021. 1.5 years ago? Ah, yeah, that's a long time ago. I'll go fast. I'm reading a nice flat here in the middle, a nice leading diagonal as a wave A, flat as a wave B, and looking for a wave corrective wave C. Potentially, you know, I am willing to let it go above March 2022 high at 4,640 here on that US 500 index. But it doesn't have to, right? I have a count here to say, yeah, I mean, it could be enough. The key level for me is and remain this 4,300 here, right? This is basically the high of August last year. This is where if we start to accept back here, kind of set up the idea that we have an ABC finish for me. I mean, we can still look for alternative where it's still bullish, you know, until we really breach the October low. Can still find alternative, but with my bias having a a cycle, 150 years cycle finished here, and this being a corrective move up, the key level for me remained 4300, and we need to lose this for me to really say, okay, I'm getting again more confident that then we have high printed. For now, this could still be a wave 4, but that can last for a few months still. A couple of months. Now, if I'm zooming in on the 4 hour, well, I can clearly see. So we have the high, we have a market structure change of character. So I have wave 1, a retrace lower high, wave 2, another move down, consolidation 4. Potentially we're in the 5th here, right? Or if things were to go into a collapse mode, it's possible we have a 1, 2 and a sub 1, 2 somewhere in here, and you know, it can enter a big third wave and have some kind of collapsing event, which in fact some decently smart guys predict to happen in this month. They predicted this a few months ago, looking at August for a collapse of not just the stock market, but more broad economy collapse. So we'll see, but for now we kind of confirming weakness, but also having a bit less volume. We don't see necessarily in strong acceleration as of yet, and we'll have liquidity, reaching liquidity here, and obviously a bit lower here. Now maybe we are doing an ABC like this. No, I'm not really willing to zoom more and getting into the struggle of doing the sub count here. I don't have the feeling as good for stocks to do such count. Would be meaningless for me to do so. But you know, yeah, that it is. We don't have an ABC, and recap, we are diving so far. So diminishing volume says two things. There is less commitment, but there is still slightly accelerating, or at least not slowing down the spread here compared to where there was high volume. So there was an attempt from of buying here, a simple SF flip, basically, and now it's diving much more easily, which means there is less resting demand here. Now that's not all the volume of that index, but yeah, it suffices to do that one. Until you reclaim that daily level here, 44.53, you know, we can look more down, and 43.200, the 43.27 basically is where, yeah, we can look for overall. But this might just, you know, I would have been incapable of judging and counting that kind of price action when it happened. I mean, I can see some kind of flat here. Probably there's some kind of flat. 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5. I can, yeah. Yeah. So willing to keep in mind we can be still in a 4 as long as we don't get acceptance back below this level, and we might do so in just a quick move here, right? Some kind of a BC like this, or we might do so with a bit more ranging, right? Having a bit more acceptance, kind of a bootstrap here if you know, get back above those high where there is liquidity now, because there was buyers that are underwater now, and there's also aggressive sellers that are pushing price down that will get underwater if we grab liquidity here. And you can really do that in a corrective structure, right? And daily level being important here. If you go significantly higher, you can trap. So I can see this happening, I can see this happening, another reaction and going further high again, or I can see a collapse happening anytime. In that case, well, Bitcoin will likely collapse as well. We'll take a look at DXY. Okay, VIX. Yeah. Okay, look is fine, at least. No, I was not able to do something. Okay. Nasdaq, I have a count somewhere, but well, I have a bearish count up. But that's kind of the same thing. It's just a bit more farer, a bit more far away. That's the same kind of swing from August 16 last year. August high last year. That is kind of the key to, confirm a bit more bearishness. But at least Nasdaq already took liquidity here above this swing high of March last year. And we also have a completing count. I would be willing to extend the same way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's also a possibility. I'm a bit less comfortable with the count of Nasdaq. I can read an expanding jag at the beginning, but yeah, not the less clean than the leading jag for S&P. Also, why I prefer to count S&P over Nasdaq. If at the end of the day, they're gonna most likely behave long, right? Just that one could have a stronger move on the side or the other, but most likely gonna move together still, most of the time. So I don't have much more to say. I have maybe a bit more bullish potential count that I had here. We didn't print a 5 here. But I guess we can just move that here. This, and I think we can still be in a 4th that degree as well. Down to, basically, 50 is still a decent way forward. So again, that's pivot remaining important. And that's a bullish count saying we're going for new highs, right? I've been willing to work on one on Nasdaq more than on S&P. There's a few of them. Well, I don't have a lot more to say on Nasdaq. S&P already done. Oil could be interesting. DXY. Well, my count was not so off, right? It didn't open that shit for a long time, but yeah. I know what is locked here. I see two possible things here, mainly. So either, we printed 1, 2, 3, triangle 4, 5, impulsive move down, which means we can still see slow finish. And overall stay above last month's low for quite some time, because we have been downtrending since September last year, so a bit less than a year. Oh yeah, because there's days close. 200 days. But a bit less than a day, than a year. So we may we might be, if that is correct and we have an impulsive move down, we might be corrective until next year easily. Could spend a year in a correction with a range here that is establishing. You have your consolidation here as well, kind of selling climax, and you come back retesting your preliminary supply and secondary test, and maybe secondary test in phase B, distributive or reaccumulation. With a impulsive move down, that would be most likely redistribution, but you can easily come back to 105 here, take liquidity here, and come back inside the range. So we may have still a lot of uptrend available here on the shorter term. Just sorry, anyway, I'm gonna be done soon. I forget BNB. I will come back on BNB. Alternative count that I have. Okay, maybe not the big one, but we have one move down here, one move up, and another move down, and we retraced to what 123. That's why there was this on the chart. So I could read a flat here as well. A flat that could bring us, well, running flat. Ideally, we look for the 1-1 extension. So we have intermediary supply here. We have a swing high here that could be a target. And that's where we could see a rejection here. We continue, A, B, C, because we can also complete an impulse out of this, right? Have a full wave A or 1 down there, and all of this being part of a correction. So making a A and this a B, and then going for another leg down. Overall, I'm pretty bearish on the decently high time frame on the dollars here, right? But even a flat here, so it can bring us to here. Let me change this 1 minute. We have this here. Where is? Let me do that again. Sorry. Flats. We can look at this extending again a few months possibly. Yeah, the idea is to look for maybe a rejection here above March high. But as it looks, yeah, that gives a bit more weight for all those things to go down, right? Continue to go down. And even if there is inverse correlation between stock and DXY and stock and Bitcoin, there is not always an inverse correlation. There is no fundamental inverse correlation between them. Well, a bit. It's badly phrased. There is a bit of fundamental inverse correlation, but I mean, what is used for the calculation of dollar strength index is other currencies, right? The euro USD pair weight like 50%, I think, of the DXY, right? So that's a lot more important than against the yuan or everything else. It can be a lot more important. What I want to say is DXY and stock can go down long or go up long, and that's true for Bitcoin as well. And in fact, it happened in the past that Bitcoin have some period where it trends along the DXY. I never charted volatility index, so I don't really know what to tell about that. I mean, there's It's kind of a range, right? Especially here. Volatility can still go down. Didn't quite reach rock bottom. That's all I can say. I mean, I can just draw that, right? There's not a lot more to say for me. I don't think we can do Elliott Wave on that. I mean, maybe. Okay, and BNB, and I guess it's gonna be all for today. Yeah, things retrace here, not really surprised. Oh, let me, yeah, maybe just keep an eye on Bitcoin quickly, retraced a lot. Golden pocket, are we? Yeah, that's kind of failed. That's kind of failed. That's kind of failed. And longs underwater, holding up, waiting to get stopped as the lows get taken. Yeah, okay, let me just... Okay, I'm just gonna do something quickly here. Try to do a lot of freaking when... Be too much overlapping in the middle again. 3... Okay, let's... now maybe do... SFP a bit lower. No? Come on, a bit lower. Okay, I might start to buy slightly here. No. Okay. Okay, flush, longest flush now you can. Okay, now you have someone stepping in. But it's slowish. Volume increasing. Yeah. Gonna be a reaction here. It's not a great finish for me. It does not look like a great finish. It doesn't look like a great finish. I'm gonna go for PPOC. P target. I stick to that might be just like 1, 2. And sometimes we have this kind of finish where you see, that's where your Elliott Wave is not the best. You have a lot of overlapping in the middle. You cannot have overlapping inside a third wave unless it is an expanded flat. 1, 2, 3, or it is a 4, and we have ABCs subdividing each wave because it is a flat. So and then you can have a spike of volume on the last wave. We are kind of missing an overlapping between 1 and 4 unless we take this. Low piece. And I'm getting calls at the same time. Okay, let me manage something. Yeah, I need to check. Here. The other piece is down. Sorry, I'm coming back to you in a second. I just need to make sure that it doesn't take this taking here. It's a bit too aggressive here. But at least you have a nice flush of long and still short getting trapped a bit. And on the big one, you have a nice flush here. But it's not great. It's not great. Okay, let me do quickly a look at BNB and Matic. Whatever I got to go. Where is no? It's here. And my PC is getting out just like me. Bitcoin, it's like it's doing 30 degrees here today. BNB USD. Oh, yeah, that one is bad. No, still not better. At least we hit the 161.8 here. Let's no. It's going like butter into this. We have a bit of long capitulation here. So again, here we go. This is just sorry, but that was the example, right? We're getting short aggressiveness into range low, a lot of open interest, then they successfully push into liquidating long, while they were bottom shorting, and the long got stopped, not the short. What I was talking, something that happened one time on 10, 2 times on 10. BNB, I mean, I don't know what to say on BNB. I don't like BNB. I would not trade BNB. I mean, you know, BNB just like trading FTT, right? It's a sluggish, Ponzi, whatever you want to call it. I mean, you can hope that Binance hold on and BNB gonna be fine, but it's a worthless piece of beep. Now you're holding your higher low, so and you can read an ABC here. Okay, you can read a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. I can read an A, B, C here. So I'm willing to say, okay, take the low here from June at that point, especially as you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big liquidity below this, at least it's not finished, right? We need to take the 211 to earn trades 20 lows and maybe be a buyer there. Yeah, the 1-1 extension of the first move down here. So between 206, 193, 94. Okay, that's maybe a decent buy. You have important enough invalidation in terms of Elliott Wave structure, at least. You don't want to breach that low for this to be a valid ABC down. But maybe it will, but yeah, it could be a buyer around there based on the Elliott Wave pattern here and the fact that I have a decent ABC down, I have a decent 5-ish structure up and a potential ABC down again. That's what I would say. So here you go. I'm giving you trade this lower. You know, then look for liquidity above this, but that can go for new runs in terms. Matic, we asked me. doing Elliott Wave on something that is... I'm not gonna accuse Binance of being a fraud. I am not doing so. But I'm not saying it is not in some, or partially is. Stop talking. What I mean is you can do great TA on some stuff, but when stuff are manipulated, at some point, if it's break, it's break. FTT, you had great Elliott Wave or whatever TA you wanted to do, but at some point, if the scheme broke down, it broke down, right? And whatever good TA you have, you can throw it out the window. So can BNB go to zero? Maybe. I don't necessarily think Binance is going down. This is not what I'm saying, and not necessarily what I'm hoping neither. I don't know. But it's possible. So far, it seems I win the fight against FTX, right? I mean, Matic kind of the same here. ABCE structure, nice 5s down. This count is nice. I like this kind of impulse correction. Impulse correction, 5, nice 5 structure, nice Elliott Wave structure on that. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consolidation, A, B, C. There I'm a bit low. Maybe we have an A, B, C, B, flat, C here, extended. It's kind of weird. For many of the altcoins I've been saying the other day, or the other months, that I was not very fan of the finish we had here. And it looked like to be confirming right now. Ideally, you still want the low of June to hold, but probably want to take that one. So, maybe be a buyer somewhere here. You got this interesting 40. Here we go. You know what? A reaction at 42 cents. That sounds like a good number. Want to see a reaction here. But, I like 42 cents. That's a preliminary support here with the range. I prefer the low not to get taken, but I could see it. The thing is, if we start to get June low, well, you might end up with an A, B, C like this, because here you are a bit in between with that. You might have a flat, which 5-ish finish might be the wave C, or this might be a fifth. I mean, yeah, it worked great as a fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you may have an A, B, and a C in process, so go a bit deeper here. Zooming out a bit more, I surely not have everything. Matic network, Matic token. Is Matic Polygon? 60? 60, okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It seems to be still in a wave 4. Where is the pen here? I mean, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a third. In that case, A, B, C as a fourth. And so if we take this, %, 3, 2. 14 cents, that's a lot lower. Yeah, it can go down more. And here we might be in a 1-2 and a sub 1-2 and a 3-4-5, 3-4-5, 3-4-5, finishing somewhere or some lower. So it doesn't look great, to be fair. I don't know how I finished this count. Okay, now I can guess it is a 4th here. That was working as a third. I'm not gonna spend too much on the lower time frame. 61.8. This has a 4. It's too deep. I don't have a compelling count, but can take the higher time frame maybe. One, two. What is that? I have something incorrect here. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Yeah, we might have more extension. I'm not gonna be forcing along here. Wait for some things to show here, but for now we failed to build a range. So that's a quick redistribution. You know, after you can zoom out and say maybe this become a preliminary support as itself if we can come back here, show some strength, and then we build a range again. You know, until then we have just acceleration, increasing in volume, as I said, could happen, and long are losing it. Now they are almost all liquidated, so that might slow down in time and get a reload. But yeah, the count might have a bit more extension here. Maybe we are still into that third wave, and maybe that third wave gonna extend lower, and you know that can dive. For now, it's not looking great until there is some reclaim of support. So that's gonna be my final word. I think yeah, I said enough today. I hope it was interesting. I appreciate you guys to join me. Apart from being interesting, I hope that was understanding, not confusing in any way. That's clear enough for you all. That was a quick live stream that's lasted a lot longer than I initially threw. So anyway, if you have more questions, there's obviously Discord for the crew members where I'm always available, or even if you are not in the crew, you can still send me a DM or tag me in the public chat that I often forget about, but if I'm tagged, I will get a look at. And I will be live again tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, I can even look at some of your charts or high coin or even shitcoin if you have ID charts and you share me in Discord. I can look at them live tomorrow with pleasure as well. So thanks everybody, I appreciate you all. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, whatever. I see all your nice comment, guys. I appreciate that. And I wish you a nice rest of your day. See you.